Some news on the banks. Berkshire Hathaway clearly paring back his holdings in a lot of the bank stocks that he owns, clearly redeploying some of that capital toward the pharmaceuticals, as we told you about earlier in the hour. But let's start with what he's doing with the banks. JP Morgan, that stake almost pared back entirely, 96% decrease in the holding of JPM, down to about $93 million, which for Berkshire Hathaway is a very small holding. Also paring back a stake in PNC by 64%. That holding was about $211 million at the end of the third quarter. Some interesting moves as well with Wells Fargo and B of A, each which had updated filings in August. Since those filings, since August 14th, the stake in Wells Fargo has been pared back by about 6.6%. In B of A, since its interim filing in August, that stake was pared back by about 2%. M&T also paring back a stake in that company, down 36% to $270 million. Now, notably, no change in U.S. Bancorp, which is a sizable stake for the firm. And as we mentioned earlier, a lot of that capital appears to be redeployed to pharmaceuticals, taking stakes worth about $2 billion at the end of the quarter in AbbVie, Merck, and Bristol Myers Squibb, so some sizable positions in the pharmaceutical space. Now, also worth noting that that is as of the end of the third quarter, as of the end of September 30th, and those positions may have changed since then. Sarah.
I'm just going to jump in, Leslie. I mean, interesting on those banks positions. A lot of them we kind of would expect to continue, including JP Morgan, which he was already selling down. The two standouts for me are Wells Fargo, only down a further 6.6% in holding versus August 14th, because he's been steadily selling that all year, was left with about 3% of the company, having previously been about 9% of the company. The fact he had not exited by now, given the pace of selling over the prior couple of quarters, perhaps a little bit of surprise, though Wells Fargo stock has been particularly depressed over the last couple of months, so maybe he's a little bit price sensitive around the $24 mark or something like that, and therefore didn't sell more over this past couple of months. And Bank of America down only a fraction, but from all of the prior couple of quarters, it seemed like he was slimming his holdings across most of his bank's portfolio and topping up slightly his Bank of America, but a reversal in direction, even though it's a small set of sales, even though he got regulatory clearance to go higher in Bank of America, stands out to me a little bit, though not a massive sale of stock there relative to his buying in it earlier in the year.
Yeah, and it's worth noting with Wells Fargo, he has been paring back his stake significantly just since that mid-August filing. It's showing a much lower decrease in the stake. As of the second quarter, Berkshire Hathaway actually pared back its stake in Wells Fargo by about 46%. So it is significant quarter over quarter. It's just since that interim filing, we wanted to provide the most up-to-date information on the selling based on that August filing. And same is true with Bank of America, although interestingly, the stake in Bank of America has increased since the second quarter, up by about 9.2%. So it's kind of all relative to those mid-interim filings. Well,
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.